How's it going, guys? UOttawaScotty here. This is the engine from my 92 XP, and this is precisely why these engines are called Rotax engines. Just have a quick listen here. I'll turn the flywheel and you can hear how the engine is sucking through these holes here. Over top of that rotary valve goes this. Here's the rotary valve cover. This gear here engages the oil pump. It spins like that, and here are the little oil galleys here. It squirts the oil here, which lubricates the rotary valve going around. There's got to be a good seal between this rotary valve body and the engine and the rotary valve that spins around here. As you can see, this is an old machine. There's lots of scoring on this, as well as on the valve itself, but this should still work, although it doesn't. Looking at these threads here, this thread is good. See that this thread, I've actually cleaned this thread up. I've already run the tap down this hole here and cleaned a bunch of junk out of there. This hole down here got some problems. See, there's a lot of metal. Threads are completely stripped on that hole and completely stripped on this hole as well. There's like no threads left in there. What we're going to do is we're going to cut some new threads into these two holes. I'm going to go with a 3/16 16 thread pitch, I think, and we'll see how well we can do with that. Alright guys, I've got the engine bay pressure washed and cleaned out as best as I can. I'm going to drop the engine down into her. That's always the tricky part, so we'll see how that goes. good. I've got my throttle, got my choke all hooked up, so that all works. What's left to do here? Yeah, just gotta hook up the electrical box now, get the battery in, and we should be able to fire this up. Yeah, just got the oil tank reservoir hookup, oil sun line. We're doing okay. The engine is connected to this electrical box through 4 wires. So this is the only wire that connects the engine to the electrical box. This is a subject for a whole video on its own. There's some fairly interesting things going on here, but this vintage Sea-Doo all the way up to 95 were great because they didn't have a whole lot of electronic control. This would be the Sea-Doo computer, I guess. I wouldn't even really call it a computer. They call it an MPEM, MPEM unit, multi-purpose electrical module is what this thing is. And sometimes these malfunction. This one's okay though, but basically these 2 wires here are coming from your magneto, and then you've got a ground, and you've got this here, which I believe fires your spark plugs that connects to your coil here, and also to the multi-purpose electrical module. So it looks like a bit of a bird's nest of wires. It's not actually that bad. I will go ahead and hook these up, and I'll do a whole separate video on this part of the Sea-Doo because like I said, there's some fairly interesting things going on here in a Sea-Doo. There's a lot of things that are taken for granted with these machines, but you know, for example, one thing is you can't have high voltage around water. So, you know, that's one of the purposes of this unit here, is to keep the, you know, high voltage away from things like the stop and start, or the stop button. Anyways, we'll talk about that in another video, but I'm gonna get right into hooking this up. I'll get this back in. This kind of just tucks away into that little plastic receptacle there. Get that hooked up, and then we should be good to go. I'll have to put the pump on to see if she'll even turn over here. Let's check it out. Yeah, looks good. Air intake back on. I've got the battery charging. The battery that I have is not very good in there. Alright guys, got everything more or less in. It's time to get the pump in. And I gotta be perfectly honest about this step. There's a tool that you're supposed to use to do this, engine pump alignment tool. That tool is like 600 bucks or something crazy. And it's an old Sea-Doo, so I've never had that tool, and I don't think I'll ever own that tool. I've gotten away with just doing this step by eye. And if I line this camera up the middle of the hole here, that's pretty damn close. That what you're looking at there is the spline of the flywheel right there. So, you know, I kind of eyeball this step. If there's any serious engine alignment issues, I think I would see that. I know that it's not super accurate, but I'm not going to spend that money on that tool. And I've had the pump on this before and installed several other pumps using this method. Sometimes I put shims in, sometimes I don't. And I haven't, knock on wood, had any problems, but I have had people tell me that watch my channel that they have not had so much luck. Stand this up. See, right in the end of that shaft there's a hole, and there's supposed to be a little rubber bumper that goes into there, and oftentimes that goes missing, as in this case. But what I've managed to find is some plumbing washers. So I've got these plumbing washers, and stacked two of them together and put another little rubber piece, a little rubber piece through that. And so that's what I'm going to use for the bumper. Actually, that's a pretty crucial part. Just keeps the drive shaft from bouncing back and forth. There's a lot of forces obviously moving through the pump, and sometimes the impeller gets pushed in the other direction, just depending on what's happening, and it's good to have this rubber bumper here that go inside the flywheel to keep things tight. Perfect. Perfect. Are you helping? Okay, you feeling okay? Too much spaghetti? Alright, so we got a pump. The pump is back on. Now, the most important line to hook up in this whole process is right there. That is the water inlet, and it is being driven by the pump. If you forget to hook up that line there, you will have no water going to your engine. Also, these two tubes right here, those are very important as well. Those are your baler pickup lines. So your balers are on either side of the engine, right here and one over here. I'll make sure that these baler lines get hooked up back to there. So some pretty crucial plumbing there. If you forget to hook that up, you're pretty well toast. Alright guys, ski's all back together, engine's in, pump is in, all the electrical, plumbing, everything is hooked up and ready to go. She turns over. Well, she's ready to, I think she's about ready to rip here. Take her for a little old rip. Maybe we'll take the old Z machine with us too. You're pretty lazy though. You're pretty lazy recently though. Huh? You weren't too fast on your walk today. You can handle some jet skiing tomorrow? Okay, we're gonna have I'd like to say we're gonna have a quiet night here, Zoe, but Daddy's gonna do some recording and it might get a little noisy. But it's okay, you can go slumber in Daddy's bedroom. Okay. Alright guys. Hope you enjoyed that video. Stay tuned. I hope that was entertaining. Stay tuned. Tomorrow, it's a big day. Tomorrow's a big day. We're going to load this old puppy onto the trailer. Take Peanut Butter Cup out down to the lake. We're going to go for a rip, boys and girls. So stay tuned to UOttawaScotty. Hopefully next video you see, it's going to be me having some fun on the water with this old girl here. You alright, Zoe? Wanna go inside?